Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. I'm Alex Matthew and this is your daily morning update. Today is a special day for all of us here at ET Now. We celebrate 12 years in the business. Don't forget to tune in to the channel over the course of the day for a lot of special conversations to mark the occasion. Now, on to the top news. The US Federal Reserve sees 2 rate hikes by the end of 2023. Officials signaled that the rapid improvement in the US economy is causing them to advance expectations of a reduction in policy support. Fed Chair Jerome Powell told a press conference that officials had begun discussions about scaling back bond purchases and projected a faster than expected pace of tightening. Estimates for inflation for the next 3 years were upgraded. The quarterly projections showed that 13 out of 18 officials favored at least 1 rate hike by the end of 2023, compared with 7 in March. 11 officials saw at least 2 hikes by the end of that year. In addition, 7 of them saw a move as early as 2022, up from 4. The Fed held its target range for its benchmark policy rate unchanged at 0 to 0.25%, where it has been since March 2020, and pledged to continue asset purchases at $120 billion per month until substantial further progress has been made on employment and inflation. Bond yields spiked and stocks fell for a second day after the Fed's officials signaled that they'll begin dialing back the stimulus that has fueled the economy over the last year or so. Heading back to India, the country is estimated to lose output worth 2 lakh crore rupees in the current financial year because of the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, on the assumption that its impact will be contained in the first quarter of the fiscal, according to the Reserve Bank of India. The speed and scale of vaccination will shape the path of recovery, according to the central bank. This was said in the RBI's monthly bulletin. Apart from that, the bank also commented on the rising volatility in international commodity prices over the last decade and said that this had resulted in the weakening of the long-run relationship between CPI and WPI inflation. An update on the government's tax collections now. Advanced tax collections for the first quarter as of the 15th of June have soared 146% on a year-on-year basis to 28,780 crore rupees. Direct tax collections, meanwhile, have doubled to 1.85 lakh crore rupees. An update in the M&A space. Facebook co-founder Eduardo Saverin's B Capital has picked up a minority stake in online pharmacy PharmEasy for $20 million through a secondary deal. That's according to an Economic Times report. US-based investment firm Tiger Global is also finalizing a $20 million primary capital infusion in PharmEasy's parent API Holdings. PharmEasy is now valued at $1.8 billion, up from $1.5 billion in April. In international news, both Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin claimed a victory following the US-Russia summit in Geneva. Biden said that he wanted to meet the Russian leader to set some rules of the road in a relationship that has been eroding for years. He said that he confronted Putin over cyber attacks in the US, Russia's treatment of democracy activists, and the need to cooperate over nuclear weapons and the Arctic. And with that, it's over to Rohit Singh for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Rohit. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex. Just ahead of the FOMC decision, stocks have snapped a 4-day up move. It is possible that we may drift lower from here, but there's no real scare of a big sell-off. While the measure of volatility has been down for 6 weeks, we should be ready if choppiness returns. The options picture is telling us the Nifty upside may be capped around 16,000 levels. The US Federal Reserve has raised its expectations for inflation this year. Chairman Jerome Powell has also hastened the time frame for the next rate hike. Officials hinted that rate hike could come as early as 2023. Just 3 months ago, the Fed had indicated that it sees no chance of hike till 2024. Wall Street and Asian markets have pulled back after the FOMC comments. Meanwhile, China has said that it will release industrial metals from its reserves so as to keep commodity prices from overheating. Let's take a look at some of the stocks that will be active at opening bell. Late in the trading day, the cabinet said subsidy on widely used DAP and other non-urea fertilizers have been raised. Shipping stocks were active as government also approved the inland vessel bill to streamline vessels running on inland waterways. Top real estate firm DLF is considering waiving store rentals in its shopping malls for the period of the recent lockdown. ICICI Bank has said that it is beginning to increase loan exposure as recovery gathers momentum. Both foreign as well as domestic investors were net sellers, each offloading shares roughly worth 870 crore rupees. On the IPO street, Shyam Metallics has found many takers for its 900 crore rupee IPO and the issue closed with robust demand. There were few takers for the Sona Comstar IPO on worries over pricing of the issue. We shall have to wait and see if this downtake in the market gets done soon or there is more ground to lose. Wish you a profitable day ahead. Also, allow us to take a moment to thank you as ET Now completes 12 years of existence. We hope to deliver more and more value to you every day. That's all we have time for. It's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Rohit. And as always, thank you all for listening in. Don't forget to hit like and also subscribe for more news and updates on all of our social media platforms. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.